Hello and welcome to a new episode How to Learn JavaScript from Beginner to Advanced. Today I will show you the differences between then and catch and async await in JavaScript. We will create together an HTML where we put an API with randomly dog, and we take some data from this API. For this we use a fetch AP URL. Okay. In HTML here, let's start it. I have an image and a button. Now this is the image and button. First example is when you use then and catch. I create a function here, fetchRandomImage, function fetchRandomDogImage, and inside I put this fetch. Fetch is a method who take some data from an URL. Now I want to take data from this API. After should to handle this promise, because when I put here fetch, the browser does know that is a promise and should to handle this promise. I handle this promise with initially with then response passing response.json. This response.json transform my object of strings from this URL, because on the server is object of strings, transforming object that I can to manipulate with JSON. After just take the data is my object. Here const image document get element doc image, I make a reference to this element, and after just I change the source element with data message, data.message. Why I put here message? Because the message is a value from my object where are the pictures. Okay, let's show you. This is the API. So this is the API. I don't know what happened here. Okay, and do you see here, this is the message in my JSON key message. No, okay. After I call the function because I want all this code to be executed, and I put an addEventListener on this button, my function. Again, let's resume with then fetch with then have syntax fetch URL and dot then for take the data, and for transforming this in object that you can manipulate, and catch for catch the error. Okay, let's catch an error. Change this URL. Let's see what happens. Nothing, but maybe here. Error fetching dog image. I don't know, should to receive error fetch dog image, but I didn't. No problem. This is the fetch. Retain fetch. Keep in your mind it's fetch URL and dot then and dot catch for catch the error. If I want to transform this function with async await, the same API I want to Do you see? If I click here, I take another image. Why? Because initial I have a image, because this function will be executed, but when I press the button, I take a new message, a new URL with a picture from API URL. Now I want to do the same thing, but with async await. When you work with async, put in front of function async, and you have three. When you use async, you have a block with try, a block with catch, and if you want, you can put finally. You write async because you tell the JavaScript this is I have inside an asynchronous code, and after you put the try, catch, and finally if you want blocks. Inside the try, you should to add the fetch. Here you fetch data, create a variable with await fetch, because this await mean you tell JavaScript please await here and freeze this function till will be with success or will fail. And if I have here another function, this function will be executed, but this will be freeze till I have a response with success and or is a failure. This is the role of await. After this response is my request to server. If response is okay, is not okay because I put here negation, I throw a new error for handle HTTP error. After transform this object in response.json is the same like here in then, because I have initially an object that I don't can manipulate it, but if I transform it with JSON I can to manipulate. And also I change the source of image for the next image. Okay, let's see. Do you see here another image? Here I put onclick on the button in like take. Now I call the function here. In the last function I use addEventListener and I don't have nothing on button. Okay, let's resume with fetch. You create function, you write directly fetch, put our URL, and after handle this with then and catch, dot then don't catch, dot then a response from server, please transform it in object that I can manipulate with JSON. And here take the data from this response. Now take the data because you have now a response that you can manipulate it, and then take data and change source with data.message. Here I use async is the same function fetchRandomDogImage, no fetchRandomDogImage, but I put async in the front. I tell the JavaScript be careful because I have here some asynchronous code. When you use async, it's mandatory to put the block, try, catch, and finally is optional, but try, catch is mandatory. In try you put all the syntax, all code. Do you see here I put in try my request to fetch to the server URL API. I handle the response from server, and if it's not okay I throw an error. Also I transform this data in object that I can manipulate it, and here I change the source. Here I call the function. That was all for today. Don't forget just few things. When you use fetch without async, you just use fetch and a parameter URL and handle with then and catch. And when you use async await, use async in front of the function for tell the JavaScript that you have asynchronous code inside, and put the blocks try, catch, and optional final. In try, you make request to the server to take data, manipulate data, convert the data in an object that you can manipulate it, and in catch you catch the error. That was all for today. Have a nice day.